Hi guys, so today we're going to go ahead and start talking about a new standard, G.CO.2 Part 1, translations. So a translation is simply a slide around a coordinate grid. So if I have some object, some shape, and I have a coordinate grid, if I move it around, that's considered a translation. In order to do the translation, we use a vector. So we see vectors as, it looks like two numbers in between a greater than and less than symbol, or we can see it as a direction like this. Both mean the same thing, and we'll talk about how to approach that. Next thing is pre-image. So if I use the word pre-image, I'm talking about the original picture. So here's my pen. It is currently the pre-image. If I slide it down, that now becomes the image, which is what I mean when I say the changed picture. And we denote it with an apostrophe. So like if my first picture had an A, or coordinate A, or vertex A, or whatever, something with an A, that would be the pre-image. And then the image would be A prime. And we don't say A apostrophe, we say A prime. Prime tells me that it's been changed. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and create the pre-image and then do the translation that is required. So first things first is I'm going to make my dots a little bit bigger. And I'm going to go ahead and plot these coordinates. So -4, -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have my first vertex there, and I'll go back with a thinner marker and write which each one is. And then I have -2, -1, and then I have 2, -4. Oops, not exactly where I wanted that. So then we go ahead and connect the dots. My first one was J, my second one, oops, my first one was J, my second one was K, and my third one was L. So there's my triangle, JKL, and I am asked to move it 5 to 5. So I'm going to take every X coordinate and add 2 to it, because 2 is positive, so I need to go to the right. And then 5 is positive, so I'm going to go up. So I'm going to go right. This is weird. I'm going to go right and up. So I have J prime is going to be at -4 plus 2, because I originally was at -4 and I'm going to add 2. And then -4 plus 5. Again, doing that change. So -4 plus 2 gives me -2. And -4 plus 5 is 1. So J prime is actually going to be at -2, 1. Now let's go ahead and do K prime. K originally was at -2, but we've got to move him 2 to the right. And then down 1, but we've got to move him up 5. So that gives me 0 and 4. And I label them. And then last but not least, L prime. L was originally at 2, and I got to add 2 more, and -4, and then add 5. And that gives me 4, 1. Oof. I do not always draw the straightest lines on screens. They are not that easy to do. And I know my picture doesn't look very good, but if you notice, I took the black, okay, I took the black triangle, and here it is, there we go. I took the black triangle and I ended up going everything to 2 to the right and then 5 up, which is how I got to the pink triangle. Alright, let's do another example. I'm going to zoom in so I can have that stuff off to the side a little bit. Ooh, too much. Okay, so let's go ahead and create our first part, which is the pre-image. L is at 4, 2. I forgot I made a parent. And M is at 4, negative 1. N is at 0, negative 1. And P is at 1, 4. So we got a little bit of a trapezoid piece going on here. And this time we're asked to do negative and negative. So the negative 4 means I'm going to go left 4, and the negative 3 means I'm going to go down 3. There we go. And let's do, say, blue this time. There we go. So L was originally at 4, 2. So L prime is going to be 4 minus 4, comma 2 minus 3. 4 minus 4 gives me 0. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So L changes to 0, negative 1, which if you notice, that's actually where N is. So we have 2 spots. That's okay. The same, you can have lines and dots crossing over. That's absolutely going to happen with this. And then we've got M prime, which M was originally at 4. So again, 4 minus 4. And then negative 1 minus 3. Oof, running out of room. So 0, negative 4. Which we expect them to be on the same line because if you notice originally L and M made a straight line. And then we have the vertex point of N, so 0 minus 4 and negative 1 minus 3. 0 minus 4 is negative 4, and 1 minus 3 is negative 4. So I have my new point of negative 4, negative 4. Which again, they should be, because if you look at the original picture, N and M are in a straight line together. And last but not least, P prime. I have 1 minus 4 and 4 minus 3. So this gives me negative 3, and this gives me 1. So I plot the point at negative 3. 1, 2, 3, and positive 1. And then again, I connect the dots. And again, the picture's not the greatest because I'm writing on a screen and it just gets a little wonky sometimes. But the idea is that the two shapes are still the exact same. All right, I got another example over here. There we go. This time we are taking our quadrilateral, so it's going to be another 4-sided thing like our last one. So T is at negative 1, 1. And we got 4, 2. And we got 1, 5. And we got negative 1, 3. So still a kind of hexagon. Still kind of a trapezoid shape, it's just a bit different this time. This time we're going to move it, let's do purple, left 2 and down 4. So let's start with T. So T prime is negative 1 minus 2 and 1 minus 4. So that gives me negative 3, negative 3. I might have to scroll my page down just a little bit. There we go. So that is where t is at right now. That's t prime. Next we have u prime. So 4 minus 2 and 2 minus 4. So that gives me negative, oops, my apologies. That gives me 2, negative 2. And again, that is u prime. Then we have w prime. That's 1 minus 2 and 5 minus 4. So 1 minus 2 gives me negative 1. And 5 minus 4 gives me 1. So again, we have a point sitting on top of another point, which happens, and that's totally fine. We just need to make sure we also label it. That's why I like to use colors. I think colors you can see things better in. And then our last one is x. So x prime is at negative 1 minus 2 and 3 minus 4. So negative 3 and negative 1. Is x prime. And then we play connect the dots. So in our video on symmetry, we learned about the word isometry, meaning that it keeps everything the same. So when I move any of my shapes, they should still be the same distance apart. So for example, x to t was a different distance of 2. X prime to t prime is still a distance of 2. If I go back to my second one here, L to M and L to M end up remaining the same, and M to N and M to M end up remaining the same. So the isometry part there that we talked about in symmetry means that they stay the same distance apart. They just slide around wherever that slide's going to be. So I like to say that a translation is just a slide. It's just to move around. Okay, let's go ahead and do pentagon DEFGH. I think I need to zoom out a smidge more. I hope I have enough room to write. Here goes it. So first things first, let's go ahead and get our original points plotted because that's the easiest to see what it looks like. So negative 1, negative 2. And 2, negative 1. And 5, 2. And 4, negative 4. Oops. See, I misread that. Happens all the time. 5, negative 2. And 4, negative 4. And 1, negative 4. So here is my pentagon. Penta means 5, so that's why I have 5 spots. So this is D, this is E, this is F, this is G, and this is H. And we are going to translate this picture left 1 and up 5. Now, what a lot of you are probably thinking is, well, why aren't I just taking the coordinates at home and physically taking them left 1 and up 5? Well, the reason I don't do that is eventually I'm going to ask you to create the new coordinate without giving you a coordinate grid. So I'll give you these, but I won't necessarily give you this to draw on. So I'll be asking you to do it without drawing the picture. So that's why I keep going back and doing the math to prove where our new points are going to be. Because you can always double check that and go back and count and say, oh yeah, look, I am actually going left 1, and here's my movement of left, and then going up 5. You can technically count it that way. I'm just not teaching it that way. All right, so let's go ahead and find D prime. I'm going to start writing up here because I know I'm going to run out of space. So I have my negative 1 minus 1, and I have negative 2 plus 5. So D prime is at negative 2. let's get my bigger, and positive 3. Which if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and left 1. Yep. Left 1 and up 5. That's exactly what we just did. And then I have E prime, which is at 2 minus 1 minus 1 plus 5, which gives me 1, 4, uh-oh, I need to go get the charger. Hold on a moment. Whew, okay, now that my computer's not ready to die. So we just were in the process of plotting point E prime. And then let's go ahead and do F prime. So that is at 5 minus 1 and negative 2 plus 5. So that gives us 4, 3. Oops, got a little bit big with my point there. Oh well. Which is F prime. And then we have G prime, which is 4 minus 1 and negative 4 plus 5, which is the same thing as 0.3, 1. And that's G prime, so let's label it. And last on this one is H prime, so 1 minus 1 and negative 4 plus 5. So that gives me 0, 1, which is H prime. And then I connect my dots as best as I can. And if you notice, my pentagon stayed the same here. So the idea of a translation is that your shape stays the same size and shape. So my pentagon stayed a pentagon, whether it was the black version or the yellow version. Same thing with my quadrilateral, my other quadrilateral, and my triangle. Well, I hope you learned a lot from this video. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye!